Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Monday, the 22nd of April. With Robert Murray McShane, as we follow his reading scheme, the section we read at the middle of the day has us beginning to read Paul's letter to Titus. Titus was a young church leader, and Paul was giving him instructions. He says he'd left him in Crete to sort out some issues, and he then warns him that he's going to have to contend with difficult people. And in verse 12, he makes the following comment. One of Crete's own prophets has said it. Cretans are always liars, evil brutes, lazy gluttons. This saying is true. Therefore, rebuke them sharply so that they will be sound in the faith. And as I read that, I thought, apart from slandering the people of Crete, he is quoting from a Cretan source who had nothing to do with the church, wasn't Jewish. Indeed, most people think it was Epimenides he was quoting. And he uses that and says, this is what he's saying is true. And we need to recognize as Christians that there is truth outside of the faith. And it's one of those difficult lines that we need to walk. And we need to recognize that if we are talking about God, if we're talking about salvation, if we're talking about heaven, then we're restricted to what God has revealed in Scripture. Because human beings have fallen. There's this great gulf between us and God. And we see darkly, see through a mirror dimly. We do not know the truth in and of ourselves. God has to reveal spiritual truth to us. Indeed, Paul makes the comment that Moses covered his face with a veil when he came back from meeting with God. And he says that veil still covers the hearts and minds of the Jews when the Old Testament is read. We are all covered, that veil covers everyone, that we cannot know the truth unless God reveals it. So in terms of spiritual truth, we restrict ourselves to Scripture. But in terms of humanity, in terms of what the world is like, in terms of how society operates, in terms of all sorts of other areas of life, there's much wisdom and much truth in all sorts of other traditions. And we can listen to it and sift it through and learn from other people, as Paul did. And he quotes it in his letter to Titus and says, this person, Epimenides, said this, and what he said is true, so take note of it. Let that shape your thinking and guide you as you deal with these people, that there is this truth out there. And so, for me, it's an encouragement to listen to the world, to take what people around about are saying seriously, engage with it, but realizing all the time that in terms of spiritual information, in terms of spiritual truth, we're restricted to the Scripture because that's what God's revealed. In terms of people, the human mind and human wisdom can perceive much truth in the world round about us. So be challenged by that thought, be encouraged, and know that we are blessed.